on and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Sports Show.
Don't miss the family show of outdoor fun, the 57th Annual Boat, Sport, and Travel Show, January 30th to February 1st at the Sandhills Global Event Center. RVs, boats, docks, golf carts, resorts, fishing lures, family entertainment, and more. See exotic animals at Wildlife Encounters. Enjoy the petting zoo and the balloon lady. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Bring the neighbors. See you there.
Sports Show.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's a snowy, or it was a snowy day here in Lincoln, Nebraska, but no more snow. It's January the 29th, 2026. Bock, it's my oldest brother's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to him.
Yeah, my big little brother. I call him big little brother because I'm bigger than him. So,
well, fair enough. I always, in the 29th of January is one thing. I always wonder about those folks that get like the 29th of February, which only comes around once in a while. I always like the jokes about how old they are. But, well, happy birthday to him. Absolutely.
Yeah, I called him earlier. He's all right. He's 54 years old. He's like 3.5 years older than me. So, great athlete, DB, when he was younger. signed scholarship to Troy State. Now he's just a old man like me.
Were you the youngest in the family? I forget.
Well, I'm the youngest to my dad. My mom had 2 other kids.
Okay.
My mom had 4 boys. So it's like 4 of us. And my dad only had me and my brother. So I'm the youngest to that part.
Yeah.
But let's get started here, Bock. A lot of people still really talking about the Nebraska game. When I looked up, ESPN came out with power rankings a little while ago, about over 3 hours ago for college basketball. In which that case, you wanted to know what happened to Nebraska. They didn't drop. They evened it out. Arizona is number 1 with the men's power rankings. UConn is number 2. Michigan's number 3. Duke's number 4. Nebraska's 5. Illinois 6. Michigan State 7. Iowa State 8. Gonzaga 9. And Texas Tech is at 10, Bock.
There you have your top 10 in the power rankings. Yeah, I don't think Nebraska is going to move down. I think as we've seen the kind of the national response, even Tuesday night and bleeding over here in the last couple of days, is that more respect for Nebraska basketball. And I think people maybe, had Nebraska basketball in the periphery and saw, oh, okay, well, over here, they beat Illinois. And then I got to check out that Michigan State game. Something came up. But once there's a top 5 matchup with Nebraska in the top 5, that's a must watch if you're a college basketball fan and you want to sound like you kind of know what you're talking about in the national scene. So I think that was where a lot of people's got their first eyeballs on Nebraska. And then as the buildup kind of happened and as the situation played out of, they're not going to have 2 of their 3 leading scorers and how many teams could compete with Michigan at full strength, let alone, with that deficit. And then for Nebraska to go out there and lead for the majority of the game on the road and, have a chance at the end and say what you will. I don't know how much the national media is complaining about the referees. And Nebraska fans aren't the happiest. But as in any game, you're always going to think, well, it could have been a call here, call there, could have swung that thing. So, I think Nebraska basketball nationally is really in a good position. And it was going to be. I mean, even if you get blown out full strength against Michigan, then you might start to have some of those fluke talks kind of start to pop up, but you've got, you'd still just have 1 loss right there, and that's where I get to it. Anybody that's talking anything about a fluke, and I think that's all died down and gone. Nebraska now well respected among college basketball fans, but you don't win 20 games in a row, to start a season against Big Ten competition, against the Kansas States, the Oklahomas, the Creightons, the teams that Nebraska played out of the conference. You're going to slip up a few times there if you're not one of the elite programs or teams in the country. And so Nebraska went out there and proved that this past week. Now the question is, what's going to happen with Illinois? And I've been saying this, and I hope I don't, my theory doesn't have to kind of come into fruition here, because my theory is Nebraska is ranked 20 at 20-0 was ranked 5th, of course, now 20-1, and Illinois at 17-3 was ranked 9th. Therefore, you would think there is some pretty big difference there between those rankings. Though the ranking is close, but I suppose the tiers would be in there, because Nebraska would still have, of course, the heads up with Illinois and 3 more games to lose to fall to 9th, right? Or in that category. And so that's why I think Nebraska is. We'll see. Can they take care of business, a whiteout at home against a Sunday against Illinois? That would very much cement where they are. If they do lose, I still think you're going to have a hard time, kicking them outside of the top 10, especially if it's a close game.
Why the whiteout part of it for the basketball team? Why not a red out, a blackout?
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, in basketball, you wear the home whites.
Oh, okay. So we don't wear reds when we're home.
No, in basketball, the reds are the away.
Okay.
So whites.
Teach me something new, Bob.
Yeah,
Thank
there you go. Yeah, or they kind of have those cream jerseys. So
yeah,
I don't know.
They look kind of beige on TV.
Yeah. So it depends on what they want to do with it, but they're going with the whiteout, and hopefully Nebraska. Hopefully the word spreads, because that's why I always am concerned about these things. Is you got maybe 40% of the crowd figured it out, and then the other people didn't. A red out is pretty much every game, right? So I think that usually is kind of how Nebraska approaches things. But it should be a fun time. And again, with all eyes, all ears on Nebraska basketball, and just the less amount of people you need to kind of coordinate that for a basketball arena than a football arena. I think it should turn out well.
All right, Bach, let's move on. Nebraska also has a pair of power forwards coming in. One's a 5-star and the other guy's a 4-star. Tell me about them, Bach.
Yeah, Nebraska is doing well. In fact, 3 visitors coming in. So we add another one here in recruiting. And you wondered too, is this was going to happen next, right? For Nebraska basketball as they become one of the premier teams this year. Can you turn that into program? Can you get that going in the long term? Can you get the top names? And these are guys, by the way, that have visits scheduled after Nebraska. I mean, they're going to take their visits and look everywhere. So, but you got to be in the battle in order to win it, right? 5-star power forward Dawson Beatty is the biggest one, scheduled an unofficial visit for this weekend for the Huskers in Illinois. He's a class of 2027 recruit and is currently ranked 10th in that class on 24/7 composite. To kind of frame that too, if you remember, Bryce McGowan's, of course, the biggest recruit in Nebraska basketball history, now playing in the NBA, was ranked 28th in his class. So this guy ranked 10th could be that level of impact or that level of expectation if he did make his way into Lincoln. Also, along with him, 4-star Donovan Davis will be in the building. He's ranked 33rd in that class. Remember, going back to what I just said about Bryce McGowan's, kind of in that territory. So some big names. And then I found out today, 4-star Matthias Alasanko will take an official visit to Nebraska this weekend, along with those guys. He's a 6'8" small forward from Brazil, one of the top international prospects in the class of 2026. So, a couple different classes there that you're working with. But it does seem like Nebraska basketball is now getting the attention of some of the top prospects across college basketball. By the way, if you are looking at it, they've also already got a pretty good class of 2026 going. They've got 2 commitments, and they're both 2 top 100 small forwards. And Colin Rice, who's ranked 79th, again by 24/7 out of Iowa, and Jacob Lanier, who's ranked 93rd. So 2 top 100 players. Very rarely get that at Nebraska. And again, I think the last one was Bryce McGowan's. Already committed for the class of 2026. And then the class of 2027 also has a commitment from 3-star Ty Schlegel, who's ranked 116th. He is out of Minnesota. So, not quite into that top 100, but has plenty of time to get into there. The point is, as I go through all these names, and hopefully Nebraska can bring a few of them into Lincoln, is that Nebraska's recruiting profile seems to be stepping up along with the play on the court, which makes sense because if you can watch, it's kind of going back to the Signetti thing, and now he's in on 4 and 5 stars being interested to go into Bloomington, because if you can see what a coach can do, with guys that aren't as athletic or as highly ranked or whatever it might be, and get the team to play as a team together, and designate them and find spots for them, particularly shooters. I think would be interested to see how, Fred Hoiberg specifically can get them open. Now you've had, a few different guys with Keisei Tamanaga and Price Sanford kind of make national headlines in that case. So starting to build a little bit of a reputation here at Nebraska for getting the most out of your players. And now players are paying attention.
All right, Bach, the women's basketball team won the other night. They played a runaway game from Northwestern, 89-73. Nebraska women improved to 16-5 and 5-5 in the Big Ten. Won their last 2 games in January after a kind of shaky start in January, we say, when the East Coast teams came here.
Yeah, it's still Nebraska looking to maybe turn the page eventually and get a win against the top 25, but you can only play who's in front of you, right? And then you had so that's kind of what's popped up against Nebraska here, as you mentioned, this January. Lost to Michigan State and in Wisconsin, UCLA in there as well. Wisconsin wasn't ranked, but Michigan State and UCLA certainly are. But that's what that loss to Wisconsin kind of shook you a little bit, because you're thinking, we feel like Nebraska, who's ranked squarely at the back end of the top 25, has kind of found their spot in college basketball, and filled in right there. But the loss to Wisconsin makes it okay. Well, maybe they might start dropping some of these games. And Northwestern, for what it's worth, not a particularly good team. 8-13, 2-8 coming in. But the win against Illinois was a little bit more of an even match. Illinois 15-6 on the year, 5-5. But most recently, like you said, beating Northwestern 89-73. You never want to overlook an opponent, and Nebraska would have the opportunity to do so again with the kind of narrative of the season, like I mentioned, playing out how it is. They've got 3 matchups against top 16 teams coming up. At Ohio State, at number 9 Michigan, at number 11 Ohio State, by the way, at number 9 Michigan, and then Maryland at home. So their next 3 games are going to be against ranked opponents. They're going to have to step up their level of play to hopefully knock off one of these top 25 teams at some point. So there was always is maybe a concern for overlooking an opponent that isn't as highly ranked, not in the Big Ten standings. But Nebraska took care of business, and it was an excellent game for the Huskers. Got out to a nice lead after quarter one, 28-17, and held that 9-point lead going into half, and just kind of spaced themselves from the Wildcats going from there. And part of that is going to be, as we know, in the modern day, sometimes if the game gets going, you get hot from beyond the arc. 11 of 21 for the Huskers, and Britt Prince was 2 of 3. She's up to 50% on the year. Logan Nisley with 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Callan Hanks stepped in with 3 of 6 there too. So that was a big part of Nebraska getting the win. Also out-rebounded the Wildcats by 10, 37-27, and a few more assists than them as well with 16-11 there. So excellent game from Nebraska. Excellent season so far. That next step is in front of them. They can knock off 1 or 2 of these upcoming 3 top 25 opponents. I think they'll find themselves back into the top 25.
Yep, you're right, Buck. 6 women team in the Big Ten are in the top 25. So, Buck, I wanted to talk about this young lady because she reached 2,000 points quicker than anybody in the Big 12. Audi Crooks breaks the record for fewest games played to reach 2,000 points. She goes to Iowa State. She did it at 89 games, Buck. You talk about people like Brittany Garner who did it in 95 games. She did it in 89.
That is really impressive, given the like you said, the level of players that have come from the Big 12 over the years there. But she's just been consistently at it. Halfway through this season now, averaging 26.6 points per game, which is a career high. But even as a freshman coming in, almost averaging 20, that'll do it for you. So she is obviously, if you see her out there, I mean, she's 6'3", owns the paint. And it kind of scores.
Shaq Diesel of women basketball.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, Buck, let's go to break. And when we come back, Mattress Mac strikes again. If you don't know who Mattress Mac is, we'll tell you when we come back. 93.7 The Ticket. Bock the Blackshirt. We'll be right back.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sports Show.
Don't miss the family show of outdoor fun, the 57th annual Boat Sport and Travel Show, January 30th to February 1st at the Sandhills Global Event Center. RVs, boats, docks, golf carts, resorts, fishing lures, family entertainment, and more. See exotic animals at Wildlife Encounters. Enjoy the petting zoo and the balloon lady. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Bring the neighbors. See you there.
Sports Show.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crows. Blue-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crows. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic, February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it. February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7. The Ticket. We are powered
by
Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Right.
Excavating.
Shout out to the Bauer crews out there working hard out through Lincoln and Omaha area. Bob, Jim Mattress Mac. He's a furniture seller in Houston, Texas. He's made the largest bet so far on Super Bowl 60 with a $2 million bet.
Whew.
He's going with the Patriots.
That's even a bigger surprise.
Buck, if he wins this will probably be the biggest bet of no, not that part. Hold on. Here we go now, Buck. Now he made the $200. If he wins, he'll win. If he win that, he will win a net $400 million if the Patriots upset the favorite Seahawks.
Mm.
It is the largest Super Bowl bet that Caesar has taken this year as of Wednesday. Now he owns a furniture store, Bach, and he's hedged, and he's got a promotion going on at his gallery. It says spend $4,000 on a mattress and gear at the furniture gallery, and if the Patriots beat the Seahawks in Super Bowl 60, you get your money back on the purchase.
Wow.
Now this guy he's loaded with money, Bach. He's a beloved figure in Houston for decades. In 2022, he won $75 million on bets made on the Houston Astros to be one of the largest sport betting payout in U.S. history.
Yeah, that makes it and gives you a little more of an idea about why he could throw $2 million down on the underdog this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet that much. I don't care how much money I have, but yeah, he's got it to burn, Bach, and it's. I wish I could probably. Never mind.
Well, we all wish we had the money that Mattress Mac had, but yeah, it is. That is a lot. I know he's lost some of these biggest bets before. I think he had a $4.5 million wager on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl a few years ago. I believe that was the largest mobile wager in sports betting history. So, I mean, the guy just likes to make history. He's got some money laying around, and he's known. I mean, when you said Mattress Mac, I do kind of forget about him throughout the year, but once we get around to the Super Bowl, it's kind of a yearly thing now. Of like, okay, what's Mattress Mac going to do, and what is what's the deal going to be for the customers? Yeah,
whatever it is, Bach. I'm not a bettor like that, Bach, but if I had to go with anybody on the Super Bowl, it would probably for Seattle because of Sam Darnold, man, and his story and his travel through the NFL, and just how much the Patriots. I mean, just because the Seahawks just hasn't. Both of the teams come from really the bottom. When we talk about football last year and record wise, both was a 60-1 odds to go to the Super Bowl. But if I had to go with anybody, it'd probably be Seahawks.
Well, yeah, but I mean, maybe in the obviously in betting you can make more with the underdog, and so that's what he's going. Maybe he figures the Patriots, he likes them one way or the other. It's not like they limped into this game themselves. So it has been, I suppose that's the strategy. I agree with you though, and I think the rest of most of the NFL watchers are probably leaning toward the Seahawks at this point to go home and win the title. But again, you're not going to make as much money that way if you bet on it. So you might want to, if you think that the underdog's got a chance, then there's your opportunity to bet. But I'll never tell anybody to bet or place too much money on any sporting event. I mean, it's unpredictable. That's why we play the games, right?
Yeah, if I could bet with your money and win with your money, then I'm okay. If you're cool with me losing a bet with your money, and then if we win, I get to keep your money. That's good thinking, Bob.
Yeah. Now it would if I had, like you said, you got to spend over $4,000 to get the deal. So my furniture isn't necessarily in that price range. But if I, it might drive me in if I was thinking about doing it. The possibility of getting it free, absolutely. We've got definitely companies around here that have made some ideas about that. If Nebraska football won the national championship, I think a few years ago, I remember something kind of related to that. You could get a lot of your services free from a local company around here. So it's not a bad way to draw people in, but oh man, I would love the day that I have an extra $2 million to throw around, not even worry if you lose it in a football game. But I don't know, like with that much money, would you enjoy watching the football game? I mean, the highs obviously would be fun, but I mean, what you could potentially lose. But again, we're talking about somebody that is valued well over that. So it's you got to kind of think of it in your own terms, I suppose.
Guy won $7,200 million about a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, $2,000 million ain't gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
So that's all right, Bob. Now, a lot of people have been talking about a coach with 6 Super Bowl wins as a head coach, 2 as an assistant, and still cannot get on the first ballot Hall of Famer. Well, meet Bill Belichick, Bob.
Yeah.
He didn't make it, Bach. And a lot of people are hooting and hollering around the NFL about him not making it in on the first try. But it could be a lot of reasons. You know, Spygate, deflate, whatever that was, ball deflate thing, him not being a nice person with the media, some say. There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah, and it's, it is interesting. You look at coaches who were first ballot Hall of Famers, it's kind of the names you might expect over the years, the Don Shula's, the Chuck Knowles, the Tom Landry's, Curly Lambeau, George Hollis. And I think that his name fits right in there. I was surprised to see this not happen. Like you said, it could always be from a few of those old scandals that popped out throughout his career. But even in my mind, okay, fine, whatever. Maybe you take those 2 titles away, you're still talking about 4-time Super Bowl champion. And what he went to the game 9 times as a head coach. That's crazy. And that's a decade. So I don't know. I mean, as somebody that lived through his career, and I think most of us today obviously can speak through that, unless you're a younger person and we're born halfway through. But even from the last 20 years and what he's done, obviously things aren't going as well here at North Carolina, but should be a shoe-in. And that's usually what I like to kind of do is to actually have those distinctions, because they have great careers, and it's always a bit odd, for a guy that earns a Hall of Fame nomination. Like, that's supposed to be the top thing you can get, right? Is if you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. I mean, then we have this extra step of, yes, but is he a first ballot Hall of Fame? So it kind of does that, but it's like an asterisk, that especially lifts people that have been that impactful and that great in the game up just another notch. And Bill Belichick's deserved that. Now, is his legacy aging as well as maybe he would have liked it to? Certainly not. I mean, his time with the Panthers after Tom Brady did not go well. Tom Brady's time out after obviously being connected with Bill Belichick, he won a Super Bowl. Now we're seeing Robert Kraft get the New England Patriots, back to the Super Bowl, just a few years removed and 2 coaches removed from Bill Belichick. So, you kind of look at all the parts that put it in place, but I don't care what you're saying. And you could say it's just a quarterback or building around a quarterback. And he, did a lot of the GMing there as well in roster management. And there were really, you look at so many Super Bowl games where you're that close, but they won 3 in 2001, 2003, and 2004, and then 3 in 2014, 2016, and 2018. So there's like a 10-year gap there. And again, they made the Super Bowl a couple times, but even to have those different eras where you're winning 3 Super Bowls, in the first case out of 4 years, in the second case out of 5 years, I mean, one of those alone, you should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So again, I do think it absolutely has to be the Deflategate, the Spygate stuff that's preventing him from it, because he is what you would, again, categorically define as a first ballot Hall of Famer, yet here we are and he's not.
All right, Buck, these are other guys who had to wait, not necessarily for their first-time ballot, but these are guys who put in considerable work in the NFL and had to wait. Chris Carter, 2013. Carter originally retired in 2001 before returning to the field with the Miami Dolphins. Terrell Davis had to wait to 2017. Tony Dungy, 2016. Now, this one is crazy. John Madden had to wait to 2006, Bob, to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. You talking about he coached in the 60s and 70s, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a long way back.
Michael Irvin, 2007. Joe Namath, 1985. Terrell Owens, 2018. And Bill Parcells got in 2013.
Well, that's crazy, too, as they're kind of looking about it. The Pro Football Hall of Fame has even had to release a statement here the other day following Bill Belichick's vote. So, there's usually not one that is this. I mean, I'm still waiting for the Roger Craig statement. We complain about it every year. Why don't we get a statement, right? But, that's the point, is it got this level of reaction. But like you said, I mean, it is not uncommon for many greats in our game to wait years and years. And that's, even with the Roger Craig thing, they've got to designate aside for a veteran that maybe had been passed over at some point. So, but I'd still, okay, this is their slap on the wrist for him not getting in. But he's got to get in, I guess, second ballot Hall of Famer next time it comes around. Or you could see a complete reaction. I mean, we know Major League Baseball has frozen out the steroid era guys. And, maybe I guess NFL football fans might feel Deflategate or Spygate was a bigger deal than that, or at least those who are voting. But again, if it was that big of a deal and you'd have to remove him from the game and not allow him to continue to dominate the sport as he did all those years in Foxborough. So, I don't think you come back and punish him all these years later.
So why is Roger Craig getting punished for what he done in football? I thought he was a excellent, sure beat of not a first what they call it, first ballot. But when you think about a guy who was the first back to start the 100-yard rushing, 1,000-yard rushing, 1,000-yard receiving in one season, this is the guy who you look to, not just some other guy. And now he's fighting for his life to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he is. And again, it'll always be a topic here in Nebraska, whether he gets in. He was one of the finalists or semifinalists this season among the veterans. So, kind of see how all that plays out. But again, and I always have to kind of, I don't want to say be the bad guy, but at least, speak from the side of, seeing why maybe he has not got in yet. Of course, he was an all-around running back, and so you want to look at his all-around yards and receiving, kind of introduce that into the NFL. And for that, he had, 7 straight seasons of over 1,000 yards combined on the ground and through the air, and total touchdown numbers in those 5 seasons or 7 seasons. I think he had 4 of them where he was over, in the double digits there as well. But I think what might be hurting was only 1,000-yard back 3 times in his career, and only got more than 1,054 yards running 1 time in his career. Again, so it depends on kind of which stats you want to pick from and choose from there. But that would be, you'd be in a small category of running backs in the NFL Hall of Fame with that sort of deal. The other thing is, and again, we're not talking about was he a good player. This is, was he a great player? Yes, he was. That's why you're in Hall of Fame discussions. But it's kind of that next level. And as you kind of look at him here, first team All-Pro once in 1988, was the Offensive Player of the Year that year. So that certainly helps in the argument. But just the first team All-Pro, just one time in his career, a 4-time Pro Bowler. That's usually once you kind of get.
Who cares about the accolades, Bob? You got to care about the performance on the field.
Well, I'm just telling you, if you're kind of in that four Pro Bowl appearances,
you would put Al Gore in there that just because he played 29 seasons in the NFL. I mean, look, the guys.
Well, not Al Gore, but Frank Gore.
Frank Gore, Frank Gore, who played 59 seasons in the NFL just to be third on the rushing record. He doesn't have any Super Bowl appearances or rings.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, Roger Craig has 3 of them. So I get it. You don't need to be, you can be the one that brings up there's a strong argument for it. I was just pointing out, there is that he would be among a few folks that get in with just 4 Pro Bowls if he does get in. Now we're going to get into the debate about how much Pro Bowls matter because you're just throwing guys in to go play a flag football game. But, back in the 80s, it was a little bit bigger of a deal. And again, that first team All-Pro thing, I think that matters when you're talking about, having done that just once. And again, was the Offensive Player of the Year. So absolutely the best player on the field that year. But, I think a lot of people will say that, okay, and to your point about Frank Gore, do you have to be elite? One of the top 3 running backs for a 4 or 5 year stretch? Could you be one of the top 8 running backs for an 8-year stretch? I mean, there's all different ways to kind of break it down, but generally, when you're kind of in that 4 or 5 year stretch, it is going to be, you're going to have to put up some huge numbers. And that's where Terrell Davis kind of did it. He did it in a short stint, but put up just gigantic numbers. I don't want to continue. I sound like the bad guy here. I also want Roger Craig in the Hall of Fame. I just know why I'm just kind of explaining why he's in that kind of middle ground position of not quite getting in.
All right, here's some coaches, Bob, who hasn't gotten into the Hall of Fame yet. Jeff Fisher, Tennessee Titans. Ooh. Dan Reeves.
Wow.
Chuck Knox.
Yeah, there's some names on here.
Jim Moore. Not the old Jim Moore. This look like the young one.
Yeah.
Marty Scheibenhauer.
Okay.
Tom Kaufman.
Okay.
George Seifert. You would think he would get in there.
Definitely thought that one.
He's one of the 9 coaches for the 25 class. This guy coached in 1988, Bob.
Yeah, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Mike Holmgren.
More from him. See, yeah.
Who else? And Mike Shanahan from the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and again, then it maybe kind of goes back to a lot of those guys with Super Bowls. Should you get in if you've got a Super Bowl as a head coach, or especially when you get into the Shanahan Seifert discussion where you've got multiple Super Bowls? Like I can get it, maybe 1 Super Bowl, but if you're a coach, you've coached at 2 Super Bowls, I don't know what more you want, unless the rest of your career is an absolute disaster.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, I think you got. I mean, you're very, very small level of. I go look it up during the break. How many coaches have won more than 2 Super Bowls in NFL history? Can't be too many.
You're right. All right, let's take it to break. And when we come back, more football action when we come back on Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. All right, fellas, it's January. You're setting goals, you're hitting the gym, but have you checked what's going on inside the engine? At Advanced Medical Imaging, the Wellness Within program makes it easy. They have different levels of preventive scans so you can choose exactly what fits your health goals. From quick baseline checks to full body insights. It's simple, it's smart, and it's all about keeping you in top form before problems ever sneak up. And the best part, you don't need a doctor's order. Just call AMI to schedule and make this the year you put your health on the schedule.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it, February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We're on from Monday through Friday from 1 to 3. Bock, Nate Borkacher made one of the best catches of the week at the Senior Bowl. Borkacher made himself some money in Mobile this week. I hate when we lose a guy for 1 year, then he just A&M guy all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's the old kind of Wandale thing with Kentucky, right? You don't get to claim him, even though he spent 4 of his years here getting ready for Texas A&M. Did, by the way, have a much bigger statistical season at Texas A&M than he ever had at Nebraska. Still didn't go, crazy. 19 carries, 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. But of course, had one of the bigger catches of the year for Texas A&M in their past season, and now showing out at the Senior Bowl. So we'll always cheer for Nate Borkacher here. There's no question about that. Of course, an Aurora, Nebraska native.
Is the Senior Bowl one of the top bowls in your besides the East-West Shrine Bowl? I think the Senior Bowl is way more elite than the other Senior Bowls that they have.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it is. You've got to be a senior to play in it. So, underclassmen that are coming out aren't going to be in there. But it is. It is. I think it's the top game, basically. I mean, you see the Diego Pavias, those type of names out there. The East-West Shrine Bowl did go out or get done, and we saw Mark Gronowski, the Iowa quarterback, win MVP of that game. Of course, these games too, you got to filter everybody in and out, so nobody's playing the whole game. But and Sierra played in that game. Deshaun Singleton will play for Nebraska in the Senior Bowl, like you're saying, and the practices are coming out and tapes on them, and hopefully Nebraska can have some success this year in the draft outside of Emmett Johnson, who obviously will be the first Husker picked. I would guess.
I should tell them guys if they down in Mobile, they should try that 72-ounce steak that they have down there. If you eat it, you don't have to pay for it.
How much is it if you don't eat it?
I don't even know.
That
was 30 years ago when I went there. So.
Did you try it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
I was trying to lose weight, not gain weight.
Yeah, that's the problem with those guys down there.
Most of those guys are gonna eat good and everything else. What else you got, Bob?
Yeah. So again, the Senior Bowl should be exciting. More than 100 top prospects working out in front of course, coaches, scouts, and personnel from all 32 teams. If you do want to watch the game, by the way, get ready for it Saturday at 1:30 on the NFL Network. If you want to see if Deshaun Singleton can kind of move his way up there, he's on the national team. If you're kind of looking for him out there, so we'll see. It'd be well, and I mentioned this the other day with DP is when we kind of get down to it and you see the Patriots and the Seahawks. And, when I was a kid and I was growing up, I always would cheer for the teams with the most Huskers on it, the Huskers that I connected with mostly. And I was telling him I might cheer for the Seahawks just because of the Big Ten representation they have in their players with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Zach Charbonnet out of the backfield. Of course, Kenneth Walker out of the backfield as well. Charbonnet's out, but still went to UCLA. And so I thought it was just kind of funny because I've gone from a team guy to a conference guy because Nebraska needs to put more guys in the league so we can be more well represented. So hopefully we'll see that in the future, or one way or the other. I suppose I don't mind all that much if if Emmett Johnson went to the Eagles or places where Nebraska's already represented. It's all good, but that would just make me cheer for them a little bit more. But it's interesting how that's happened over the years. Terrell, I got a question for you. Because I just saw this from CNN. It says, from athletes to actors and artists, A-listers across the globe are ditching Bluetooth and untangling their wired headphones. Apparently, wired headphones, which we have right on in your studio, and we've been, I guess, cool all along, are making a comeback. I never quite made it out of my wired headphone stage. I'll admit it didn't always come in, when I'm mowing or do something active. Sometimes it gets in the way and I unplug. But I guess I just never made it out of the wired stage. But for some reason, they're making a comeback. Have you transitioned to Bluetooth for your headphones?
Always, Buck.
Yeah.
You sound like one of those people that still watch Hee Haw or something. So I have a pair of Beats by Dre.
There you go, yeah.
So I'm Bluetooth. I have them for the airport. The bad thing about it, Buck, is when they go dead, they're dead.
Yeah,
so,
that is, yeah.
And if you don't have anything to charge them up or anything, and here's the thing, Buck, that I almost feared was going to happen to me as I was flying out of Chicago last Sunday. And I was listening to my music. I look up, Buck, plane leaves in 10 minutes. Like, we're going to load in 10 minutes. I have 3% on my phone, Buck. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
The whole time, yeah.
No, so I remembered that I had my charger and my laptop in my bag. So I opened my laptop up and just plugged the plug in the laptop, and it charged it up. If not, because I had my boarding pass on my phone, Bob.
Oh yeah, that would have been bad for you.
Yeah, would
No,
have been real bad.
At least the computer was charged then.
Well, yeah, because it charged my phone back up.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, it is funny. Obviously, airplane mode and all that. You got to make sure you can you entertain yourself offline. But it's tough to go through an airplane ride, especially if you're sitting in between some folks or something and have nothing to do. I got kind of spoiled in my long journey across to the Philippines. My wife's from there, so go through there. Is that for the most part, I got these little TV screens right in front of me for the long journey, right? But then I think one of my legs was from San Francisco to Chicago. There's no TV in front of me. It's like a 5-hour flight, and I'm stuck in the middle of two rather large people. And I just sat there, and I couldn't have anything to do. I think I had a phone charging problem too. I was kind of passing out and hopefully not leaning next to the woman next to me, but I couldn't tell. At least at the end we talked it out. We had a nice long conversation because as any time you land in Chicago, there's a delay, and so that led to me.
Wow, Bock, I had an hour and 30-minute flight, and we had a TV on ours.
You did? See, yeah, I don't know what happened.
I watched Kel and Pill, whatever the two is.
Yeah,
I watched that. They had a whole bunch of choices you could make. I didn't know they had that many choices you could make on a plane, but hey, I also then I watched Family Guy. That took a lot more time off, just the flight, because I'm not the Kel and Pete, whatever those two guys.
Key and Peele.
Yeah, they're crazy. So
I guess there's this thing called books that maybe I could bring along at one point in time that might entertain me. But yeah, I got to make a plan for that.
Now they got people reading the books to you. Who you wanted, in Michael Jackson voice, or you wanted in Samuel L. Jackson? Read the damn book, Bock.
Well, I'll take it in Samuel L. Jackson, but you know what? I'm gonna still have my headphones that have a wire to them connected.
All right, 93.7 The Ticket. Bock in the Black Shirt. We'll be right back.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crows. Blues-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crows. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic, February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it. February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
Sports Sports Show.
Don't miss the family show of outdoor fun, the 57th annual Boat Sport and Travel Show, January 30th to February 1st at the Sandhills Global Event Center. RVs, boats, docks, golf carts, resorts, fishing lures, family entertainment, and more. See exotic animals at Wildlife Encounters. Enjoy the petting zoo and the balloon lady. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Bring the neighbors. See you there.
Sports Show.
All right, fellas, it's January. You're setting goals, you're hitting the gym, but have you checked what's going on inside the engine? At Advanced Medical Imaging, the Wellness Within program makes it easy. They have different levels of preventive scans so you can choose exactly what fits your health goals, from quick baseline checks to full body insights. It's simple, it's smart, and it's all about keeping you in top form before problems ever sneak up. And the best part, you don't need a doctor's order. Just call AMI to schedule and make this the year you put your health on the schedule.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G16518. 2,500 down with proof credit.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bakovic. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Cup of water. Welcome back to Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are on from Monday through Friday from 1 to 3. And guess what? We are powered by Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Brad.
Excavating.
Shout out to the Bauer crews out there working hard in Lincoln and Omaha areas. Cubster says, the night I flew back from Vegas to KC was the night of the 18th inning World Series game. We took off in the bottom of the ninth and landed in the 17th inning. And that was the best flight I've been on.
Especially you're able to watch it all along that, yeah. Which I'm assuming is what he's saying.
Bill and Bennett says, I still watch Hee Haw episodes, Black Shirt. And I'm happy that ABC and Disney are bringing back the Muppet Show.
You big Hee Haw guy?
Bob, when you didn't have cable like we did back in the days, it wasn't about what. It was about what channel's gonna come in to clears, and sometimes it was Hee Haw. So and then you had to watch it. Beverly Hills Billy. What's the big house? That guy. What they used to call that show? My dad used to watch that
I'm not going to be able to help you.
It was a gunslinger, a big house, and all his brothers and stuff. I forgot the name of that Bonanza. That was it.
Oh,
Bonanza.
yeah.
Bonanza. See, I remember stuff like that.
Now, what they do in Hee Haw?
Just a bunch of singing and I don't know, Bob. I could not. I would like somebody to explain to me what was he all about because I still don't know.
You know, a show about nothing?
Yeah, a show about nothing. That's probably basic. Probably it's just 0018 says, are there any Huskers in Super Bowl?
I don't believe so. I think Brendan Hymus is on the Patriots practice squad. So I think you've got that. I was trying to think. Somebody else pointed out there was a coaching connection, which now I'm blanking on. I'll go look at the Patriots coaching staff real quick because I think it was.
They said something about, I forgot some guy.
Yeah. But not directly. Unfortunately, again, you're looking at a practice squad or, not playing.
All right, Bach. I had something I wanted to say. Okay. Here we go. The Fiesta Bowl Sports Foundation is what they calling it. Will have the inaugural Fiesta Bowl Flag Football Classic, a 2-day tournament, April 18th and 19th at the fields at Dorsey and Tempe. Teams including Alabama State, Arizona State, Florida, Georgia, and USC will compete in a pool followed by a playoff to crown a champion with full support like accommodations and meals. Organization aim to build traditional among flag football surge now that the NCAA emerges sport bound for the 2028 Olympics as coaches like Alabama State Tyrone Poole held to it as a huge step forward. Me and Tyrone Poole used to have the same agent together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he went to Fort Valley. He got drafted in the first round.
Did you ever get big into any flag football after your playing career?
No.
No. That takes a little bit of that.
I still will play tackle the man with the ball, Bob.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't care about no flag football. We can go get 30 old men and we can throw the ball up and tackle.
Yeah. And I've seen it too. It is going to be an adjustment because
and Rashawn's the first person I won't take on.
Oh, you want to take him on the opposite side?
I'm running him over.
Yeah,
I'm running him over.
Yeah.
I'm running him over. Then I'm tackling him and bumping up against him when I get up.
That old rivalry will never die. I know that. So that doesn't surprise me. But again, we've seen the kind of the rise of flag football. We've seen Nebraska embrace that and introduce that, and women's flag football coming to the university. That's what I was kind of saying. I was saying some of those names you're throwing out there. I think, well, maybe they could jump in and be a Power 4 women's flag football team as well. We'll see about that down the line. I know some people. I know it gets pretty competitive. I do know that. I know some people that played, at college level and travel around, try to win championships and all that sort of stuff. So it can be pretty competitive.
Yeah, I like it, but it's going to take us a while to catch up with all the other teams that's going on, because we've seen Nebraska Intermediate girls play. They played the team from what was that, Doane or something, or what was that college that them flag football girls come from? Those girls was good, and Nebraska's girls was lost out there. So whoever's going to be the recruiter of the women's flag football team, you probably need to go down the road a couple of blocks and get some of them girls.
Well, Ralph pointed out he thought it was odd that they offered a scholarship before getting a coach.
Yeah,
but
you know who that was? He had to be sitting in front of. Sit in front of
made the offer.
He made the offer and the announcement.
Yeah.
I really just like to see who cares, Bob?
Well, see, by the way, to clean up on what we were saying earlier, Jake Peets was the name. Is the offensive passing game coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. So there is that connection. If you aren't familiar with him, he is a name that has been an offensive name, in coaching for quite some time. That almost was considered as the Nebraska's offensive coordinator at some points throughout his career. But in any case, he played at Nebraska, actually, I believe as a walk-on. But yeah, not playing in the game, but at least you've got some sort of connection one way or the other.
Yeah. Willie said Hee Haw is like a Southern Saturday Night Live.
Okay, yeah, that makes some sense.
That's a lie, Bob.
That's not what it is, huh?
Johnny Cortland said, you're all the soft. He said, you're all the soft. Lombardi said it best. Winning is the only thing. If you ain't in it to win it, why the hell are you here? It's just like this. Like Ricky Bobby said, if you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby, IC. So, everybody shoots to be first, Bob. Every time I turn that game on, I want to be first.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not, but I'm still enjoying it at the same time. This is a hope what girls understand about football. As long as you enjoy it, then the winning, because you're starting something new. It's an adventure. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to win every competition. As long as you're having fun out there, then once a couple of years evolve and you become, it's going to take a couple of years to get this thing rolling, Bob, just because girls, they're going to get homesick. They don't, or we're going to have transfer portal for flag football. That's one thing.
Is the NCAA in charge? Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how it kind of all comes together. But that is interesting. And it's part of it, too. And we talk about that. And it does feel like, and it's hard to not kind of accept this because we've talked about it in national circles. Was Nebraska and Michigan a moral victory for the fan base? Because Fred Hoiberg went in there, and of course they lost the game. Fred Hoiberg went in right away in the locker room, said there's no moral victories for Nebraska basketball. So I'm not asking about that from within the team, but from the fan base, from the response that we've seen, most people are kind of feel better again about Nebraska coming out of that game. And again, everything that's kind of lined up for if you were going to take moral victories could be there, right? Of the challenges that playing without some of your best players and all of that, playing on the road in the Big Ten against, a top 5 team in Michigan. So, I mean, do you think that there's any moral victories taken from that, from the fan base side of things?
Well, I think that, everybody watching the game know what happened.
Yeah.
Everybody know what Nebraska was missing, 2 of their top 3 scorers. Everybody seemed kind of sort of the rest was on Michigan's side. Did that bother Nebraska? No. Nebraska played a good first half, probably his best first half of the year we've seen all year. Was able to play head up against the number 3 team in the nation at home. So it wasn't about Michigan. It was about Nebraska more because of the way they played, the heart they had, just being the underdogs like that. I think they won a lot of people's heart over just at that game Sunday night.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think, when it's kind of funny because you do different phrasings, different words might change how you're, but that's the power of words, right? I mean, they have to have these meanings. And so, moral victories, I don't think the word victory is not there without a win, right? You just can't. So I don't think that there's necessarily moral victories, but to your point, there is something as far as gaining respect. There's many times you can lose and gain respect.
You lost, but you didn't lose it in a way that this is not a regular Nebraska loss for men's basketball. I mean, shoot, it took them 24 games, Bob,
right, yeah,
to lose a game. But to win their first 20, Bob, and it come down to the way a guy is sick right before a guy gets, 2 guys are sick. 1, your point guard. 2, your other shooter. 3, you lost your other big guy last week. You're not a healthy team. You only played 7 guys. Wait till we get healthy. Wait till we get everybody. Wait till Big Ten tournament. I mean, if Nebraska has to play its game, keep playing the way you play. Don't change for anybody. I don't care what anybody says. Keep playing your game.
Well, it is interesting, too, because, I was thinking about this the other day, is the process and of determining a champion. And often we do this, of course, through a tournament. And that's what college football has moved to. And so that's where a lot of the argument kind of comes from. And for the past, I kind of prefer a season-long, we don't need to dive all the way back into that, but I like a smaller playoff and, back to, the BCS era, all that sort of stuff. Because I think it is interesting that we define a season and how to crown a champion with a tournament at the end, as that's the time that matters, right? Those are the games that matters. That's when it's important. But the one thing we can't take out of that and the whole idea of getting better and being better at that right time, my argument always with the single elimination tournament is, well, what if you did it a month later? Or what if you did it a month sooner? You'd get different results. But what you can't take out of it is sickness and injury. And sickness certainly popped up, and it's one that you forget about until it comes back. Because I'd said all along for Nebraska basketball, the only thing that's going to move them off this path, and you might lose a game or two, but the only thing that's going to move them off this path is injury. And then right before, the biggest game of the year, maybe one of the biggest games in Nebraska basketball history, sickness arises. So I know that, even Nebraska football dealt with that back when you played. And certainly it's been talked about over the years, but it's crazy because, that can certainly factor in, especially a single game elimination tournament down the line is a sickness. And let's hope that does not happen, because you say, let's just wait. Well, somebody's going to feel a little bit under the weather, once the NCAA tournament comes aboard. Hopefully Nebraska's not among them.
Yeah, so we're not. Bock, we still have a good little way to go for the season. So I will just let it play out itself.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. Nebraska, as we know, their next game against Illinois on Sunday. The whiteout, we talked a little bit earlier about that. Illinois got a game themselves. Their last game before coming to Lincoln and playing Nebraska on Sunday will be this evening against Washington. Washington, of course, we saw them have a really good freshman center. In fact, Braden Frager would be Nebraska fans' choices for freshman of the year in the Big Ten. But this Illinois-Washington game certainly might have the two others that are in that contention. And Illinois specifically has a young man that is probably starting to run away with that award, if we're going to be honest. And all love to Braden Frager, but this young man, Keaton Wagler, is averaging 17.5, the leading scorer for the number 9 Illinois Fighting Illini. He is a freshman, and the biggest thing is he's coming off a huge game in the Big Ten against Purdue. 46 points for Wagler against Purdue this past Saturday. And I only bring this up again because they're in action tonight for the first time again. 9 of 11 from beyond the arc for the freshman against Purdue. Now, again, we'll see what they do tonight in a big game, big enough for both teams, right? Against the Washington Huskies. But they themselves got, of course, a man in the freshman of the year conversations for the Big Ten in Haynes Steinbach, which you saw a close view of him when Washington came to town. He averaged 17.5 himself, leading Washington in scoring and 11 rebounds. So that should be an entertaining game if you want to check it. If you want to get, kind of do some scouting for Nebraska's next Big Ten opponent. Illinois, again, will take on Washington tonight, 8 o'clock on FS1.
All right, Bock, let's go to break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more Husker football. Not really football, but some of the guys that used to play football here. We'll see where most of them went in the transfer portal. Also, I'll wait for that one. I don't want to read that one out loud. All right, 93.7 The Ticket, Bock in the Black Shirt. We'll be right back.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184. 2,500 down with proof credit.
All right, fellas, it's January. You're setting goals, you're hitting the gym, but have you checked what's going on inside the engine? At Advanced Medical Imaging, the Wellness Within program makes it easy. They have different levels of preventive scans so you can choose exactly what fits your health goals. From quick baseline checks to full body insights. It's simple, it's smart, and it's all about keeping you in top form before problems ever sneak up. And the best part, you don't need a doctor's order. Just call AMI to schedule and make this the year you put your health on the schedule.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Back 9 Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA TG professional, Back 9 Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back 9 Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back 9's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back 9 Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. Bock, 22 Hold on. What's going on here? All right. 22 Huskers, Bob, entered the transfer portal during the offseason. We're going to try to tell you where all of them went to. Not all of them found a home yet, but we'll just give you the guys who's already at somewhere. Dylan Riola, Oregon.
Redshirting, right? Looks like it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Malcolm Hazard, Arizona.
Kind of interesting. Good landing spot for a guy that I think Nebraska maybe could have used. Won't be the biggest loss in the world. Of course, maybe the biggest play of the season last year before he had to redshirt.
Keanu Davis, Miami.
Yeah, this is one we haven't talked about quite yet. I believe that happened over the weekend. A guy who's twice entered the transfer portal at Nebraska, so seems to kind of shop his name around after each season. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe that's his strategy if he does that again after a year down there in Miami. But certainly tough to see a team that struggled up front lose a defensive lineman to a national championship type of team. And we all kind of knew that, right? As Keanu Davis was kind of that level of player. And so not surprised to see it, but that, of course, I think many people would say is among the biggest losses in the portal for the Huskers.
Yeah. That's probably going to hurt them in the long run. But, we still have to play the game. I'm happy for a young man to go from a 7-5 team or 6-6 team or 7-6 team to a national championship team that played, and the way it looked like they're going to be back next year with that easy schedule they got.
Oh, Miami schedule?
Yeah.
Not too difficult.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, we'll see. And I mean, again, as far as production, Nebraska will be able to replace the Keona. 32 total tackles last year, a sack and a half. But again, it was a lot of it for him all along was about his upside. 6'5", 275-pounder now going into his junior season next year. And again, it's kind of the same thing with Dylan. When you have those young prospects on your roster, you don't want to make them better for their upperclassmen years somewhere else. And, of course, Nebraska does that on the opposite end, picks up a lot of different guys, obviously borrowing a Mountain West Player of the Year quarterback there from UNLV. So it's college football nowadays, but it still kind of stings my mindset of from watching college football back in the day. And certainly what you still want to do in the game is bring guys up, in especially when they get early playing time, when they get that much snaps and reps in, is to be able to pay that off for their junior and senior season. But he'll be doing that at Miami.
Yeah, correct on that part, Bob. Who else? Kenneth Williams, running back. We'll see him, Bob. Michigan State.
Yeah. Not excited about seeing him because I know that could be troublesome. I mean, you think about the headline that could possibly be. I mean, if Kenneth Williams returns a touchdown against Nebraska, win or lose, boy, are we going to have the Mike Eckler discussion that week, because then we'll be frustrated with Nebraska's special teams, obviously in defending that. And then, kind of thinking you could have completely flipped that. We talked about the other day, when the schedule released, that is a game Nebraska just cannot lose. Again, I know it's on the road, but, Pat Fitzgerald in his first year, I think in a couple years, they're going to be tough. And I don't know, maybe it won't take a couple years for them. We've seen quicker turnarounds in modern day college football, but you got to get them with the opportunities there. And again, in your fourth year, Matt Rule, you got to be able to beat first year Pat Fitzgerald and East Lansing. But Kenneth Williams isn't going to make it any easier, and especially sting for Matt Rule, obviously, because he kind of recognized him and brought him onto the football team and got this football career at the college level anyway, rolling for Kenneth Williams.
Yeah, you're right. Houston Torres, Bob, offensive line, Michigan.
Yeah.
Hate to lose a guy like that, man, especially a young offensive lineman that probably could have did us some good here. Don't know how much they attempted not to develop these guys, but hopefully we got the right coaches in now at the offensive line spot.
Yeah, and of course he didn't have a whole lot of time to develop. You do want to see some of the younger guys through the program get better and all that. But 1 year, as we say with offensive linemen, it's rare you can kind of throw a true freshman out there. But it does tell you the upside of him. And Michigan, obviously, not just where they've been as far as the national championship in recent years, but where they're going with Kyle Whittingham. that is a program that very much puts the front lines at the top, like the most important, right? And so we'll see. I mean, I definitely could imagine seeing him playing a significant role down the line for the Wolverines. But again, that's one of those deals where, it's he just had a cup of coffee here, just one season here as a true freshman. So
a cup of coffee. Maverick Noonan, Fresno State. Who else with him? Preston Okafor,
yeah.
Okafor, he's at Fresno State too. So two guys going to Fresno State, two young guys.
Yeah. And again, best of luck to them. Didn't quite make too much of an impact with the Huskers, and hopefully with Fresno State, they can work their way back up.
Yeah. Sometimes I hate that these guys lose 2 years here just sitting and waiting, and the next thing you know, they have to transfer. You have to get this is not like the old football back in the 90s, like you could wait 3 years to be a starter for 1 year. No, right now you have to play right now to get them, because if you wait 2 years and don't do anything, but you don't even have any film.
Yeah.
So now you're in a place where you have to probably leave after 1 year in college football like most of these kids do.
Yeah, I mean, and we're seeing more and more, at least, is when you kind of speak on that film, is practice film, is programs allowing these guys to use practice film and put that together. But like you said, I mean, that can only go so far. People want to see what you do in the games.
All right. O'Dad 34 says, I think we have the talent at D-line that's still on the roster to be better than last year, in my opinion.
Well, I think they had the talent on the defensive line to be better than they were last year too. Scheme will play a big part in that, but you hope that guys as well progressing through it and getting better through those reps, right? And, the Riley Van Poppels, the Cam Linharts, they've been around long enough. Kate Pitchock, kind of splashed a little bit last year, and then of course we know Williams Winery has a high upside, and he definitely splashed early on in the season. Now, can you get those splashes in RVP? I mean, I mentioned him, but he's definitely splashed throughout his career. Can you get those splashes to turn into consistent play down after down? And then the other thing is just to get the level of play from early on last year toward the to back, at least, right? Where, it wasn't great. The rush defense was leaky, but it was breaking on big plays. Whereas toward the end of the season, it was just, most plays Nebraska was having trouble with stopping in those final 3 games when you give up that amount of points.
All right, Buck. Marcos Davila, Abilene Christian.
Yeah, good opportunity, hopefully, for him to get out there and play. Never really factored much into the quarterback discussion here, as we know. Was supplanted by a true freshman in a former NAIA guy, and so that usually will let you kind of know where you project or where you're at in the order of the lineup. So again, hopefully he gets an opportunity to play some college football there, but it wasn't trending that way here at Nebraska.
All right, Buck. Caden Van Mars, he ended up at Rice.
Yeah, good pick for him. He was for a long time committed. I think he was committed to Nebraska through his junior season of high school. So unfortunate to see him walk away, but again, it's modern day college football. Looks like he's probably trying to get into a better position of getting on the field there at Rice.
All right, Tristan Avano, South Dakota State.
Yeah, there you go. South Dakota State landing a good one, I think, in Avano, at least for that level. We know he's got the leg for it. Really became inconsistent to a degree here at Nebraska, and then lost his own spot in the pecking order. Of course, Nebraska bringing in a transfer this past season to kind of take that spot. Remember, John Holstill on the team as well. So it was going to be, I always kind of thought about that with their 3 kickers that they still had on the roster last year. They all had proven that they can hit from over 450. It's just how consistently can you do it throughout the season. And that's something he's going to have to work on as he makes his way to the Jackrabbits there. I don't know. I mean, kickers, that's always, it's a tough headspace to be in if you're not playing well. And so maybe a change of scenery can kind of get him going and revamp his career.
You're correct about that. Bryce Turner and Jamarion Parker still haven't found anywhere to go yet, Buck. So we'll keep our eye out on those two.
Especially Parker. I mean, that was a high 4-star running back coming in out of the St. Louis area. And I think Kenny, when we talked to Kenny Wilhite, has a connection with him and says he's, coming down to some choices there. But can't wait to see what his career turns into.
All right, Mickey Joseph's waiting in the rear for
There you
some
go.
of them. He's waiting for some of these players who haven't got picked up. So hopefully he can get some good players at Grambling for him too, Bob.
Is that kind of where he's sitting at as far as the transfer portal goes? Is the as transfer portal season's kind of passing over, you don't get the pick of the litter, obviously, at Grambling State, but you get to pick what's left, and hopefully he's able to do that. So we'll see. I also saw, and maybe we should read up a little bit more of this because I was just skimming through it. That Mac Markway, a longtime tight end here, and certainly had dealt with injuries throughout his career, both at LSU and here at Nebraska, going to move to the defensive side of the ball. So, interested to see and read up a little bit more about what that means. But a couple interesting news and notes there as he goes through some of the former players and their landing spots.
Say that again, Bob.
Mac Markway, remember the tight end? Yeah,
LSU.
Yeah, from tight end. Yeah.
So now we're short at tight end, aren't we?
Well, he wasn't factoring into the mix too much.
He was hurt last year.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, they've definitely got their prospects there. Carter Nelson, hopefully can step up. Luke Lindenmeyer, obviously returning, was one of the better, more productive players in the returning category for the Huskers.
Who else we have at tight end? That's it.
Those are the names off the top of my head. Let me look it up. But I mean, when I bring up Carter Nelson, I mean, what do you think as far as the importance of his junior year?
He needs reps.
Yeah.
He has to get on the field, or he's for him to not be a bust. You have to get on the field and do some things.
Yeah,
you can't come out of that small town and don't produce the way his name was floating around here.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a high level prospect. It's pretty much this year.
He should have took a red
Gotta
shirt.
arrive.
Did he take a red shirt last year?
I don't believe so.
He should have.
I'd have to go double check. Caden Echtermock, by the way, was also listed on the most recent depth chart for Nebraska football. 6'4", 260-pound sophomore this past year will be going into his junior season. If you're worried about tight end depth there a little bit.
All right, Bob. 6169 says tight end, the D-line work for Warren Sapp and others. You're right. Huster Stu says, why have a tight end? And they don't even throw the ball towards the tight ends at all.
They did get away from that, which was surprising, especially, the way that you would think of it naturally going is you get a young guy into the room and TJ Lateef, less than a year removed from high school football. They always say high school, or I should say young quarterbacks can rely more on the tight ends and the running backs. But I mean, Dylan kind of had a solid connection with Luke earlier in the year, and then that kind of just fizzled out.
Yeah, you're right. He did, Bob. And especially when you have a young running quarterback like TJ Lateef, you want to have that tight end and that running back in the backfield to help him, get through his ups and downs. So, have a quick throw here, have a quick throw to the tight end. But we didn't see that. So hopefully we'll see it with the new quarterbacks and what we have gotten out of all the transfer portal.
Yeah, hopefully we can. And again, when you kind of look at Luke Lindenmeyer's kind of stats there, his biggest game, oddly enough, or his last big game, I should say, his biggest game is probably against Michigan, at least statistically, 7 catches for 60 yards. Again, he opened up the season against Cincinnati, 5 catches for 47 yards, scored a touchdown against Akron with 44 yards. So kind of a bigger presence earlier on in the season. The final 4 games that he played in would be Northwestern. He had a catch for 15 yards, USC 2 for 23, Iowa 2 for 20, and Utah 1 for 6.
Who's this?
This is Lindenmeyer.
Yeah. And
we saw Utah kind of go the opposite route. They used their tight ends quite a bit as part of that dismantling of Nebraska, 44-22 there in the Las Vegas Bowl. So, that is one thing. And Luke, even when they did get him the ball there late in the season, he's just a guy that's tough to bring down and was kind of getting those extra yards. So, I think they've got something to work with there if they get their playmaker the ball.
Then you have a Luke Sorensen who's coming in also.
Yeah,
so, we just got to call him Sorensen. No kin to Jake Sorensen if you're worried about that.
That's right. I would be a little bit worried about that.
Jake's a kickball champion, not a football champion. You see them calves on him?
Yeah.
Kickball.
Yeah. He works out well. His legs. Doesn't skip leg day.
Yeah. 93.7 The Ticket. Bock The Blackshirt here. Closing out with the last segment. Up next, Jay Foreman and Austin Orman with Old School. One more segment left with us, though. 93.7 The Ticket.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
Just got new tires put on my car today.
You did? I didn't see you leave the office.
I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off and they were done.
You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service?
That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: snow possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see cloudy skies with calm winds and the high near 24. Tonight, a slight chance of snow. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies, a low around 11. And tomorrow, a continued slight chance of snow. Otherwise, probably sunny skies, be breezy and cold. The high near 17. I'm meteorologist Kyle Collector for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. Bock the Blackshirt here. Last segment of the day before we give away to Austin Orman and Jay Foreman. Bock. All right, Bock. How many teams, see if your knowledge is good.
Uh-oh.
How many teams has 0 Big Ten titles in football? Give me the team names.
Oh, Big Ten titles in football. Okay, Northwestern. Of Big Ten titles, UCLA, USC.
Hold on. You got 1, 2,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. USC doesn't have one.
USC.
Washington. Oregon, of course, came in and got one. So Washington would be another one.
Well, Northwestern has one.
Northwestern does have one. Okay, yeah.
So,
but there are Big Ten schools. Well, obviously Nebraska, Maryland. I'm just going through all the new teams here. I think I got all the new ones.
One more. Padaway.
Rutgers, yeah.
Yeah. That's it, Bock. You got it.
That's it. It's just the new teams. Yeah.
All right.
Everybody else is one.
Now I have to find out where I put this one at. Here we go. Oh, man. I'm trying to find you a good one, Bock.
Is this more trivia?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Who has the Bock most conference championships ever? We should show this to a lot of kids because when you look at stuff like this, it doesn't matter what conference you're in. Nebraska has 46 conference championships. OU has 50. Michigan has 45. Ohio State 39. USC 37. I wonder who got this information.
Well, I know. I mean, it's something Nebraska still takes pride in. Is you kind of look at their top rankings. They were up there one time, led the way, I believe, before Oklahoma won a few of those. But either way, or maybe it was tied. I can't remember where it was. But of course, Nebraska's been stuck at 46 since 1999. So that stat has remained the case for several years. But yeah, I mean, it's still one that you can kind of look back at. And for the longest time too, it's like, okay, for Nebraska football, when you're in the Big 12 and there's 12 teams, or you join the Big 10 and there's 14 or whatever, that's still a big goal, right? And something you want to, kind of embarrassing that you've won since 1999. Now that we're in 18-team leagues and you don't have to win the conference champion to make the college football playoff, it's a little bit different. So there would be one day where I say, I just can't wait. I want to see it. Obviously, it hurt. The 2009 Big 12 championship game, the 1 second put on, that's when many thought, for at least for a second, a few seconds before they put that time back on that Nebraska had broken that streak. But now it just seems really, really difficult to obviously climb up all the way to the top. But again, we've seen new teams win in each of the last couple of years in Oregon and Indiana. So still a possibility, just doesn't have quite, and again, even when you read through that stat, doesn't have quite the importance that it once did, because back in the day, obviously, if you didn't win the conference championship, then you're probably not talking about playing for a national championship or being in that argument. Of course, Nebraska was able to play for a national championship in 2001 without having won a conference championship that year too. So kind of interesting as we look and look for a place for conference championships. Look for their own place in the new world of college football, and certainly with expansion, to a 24 team playoff like the Big Ten wants to get to at some point. It would be hard to argue that there would be much left in those conference championship games. Now, again, like it used to be before the early 90s, nobody had conference championship games either. It was just regular season champs. Oftentimes, you had ties in there. So it's always evolving. Like I say, college football might be different than it was 20 years ago, but don't forget that 20 years ago it was different than it was 20 years before that.
All right, Bock. Hazelberg got a good question here. He said, if Matt Rule goes 5-7, or 6-6 next year, but has a top 5 recruiting class, do we fire him? You want me to answer that first, Bock?
You can go with the first. Yeah, you can go with it.
Well, if we have to wait to 27 to win, we definitely gonna have to wait to 28. Just because you get a lot of these high-numbered freshmen in, freshmen don't win football games for you. It's called a team. And I don't think just because he puts up a good recruiting class, we should have to wait another year or two to see how they develop, because then we wasted 7 years of our time. So, it depends how the AD feels about, what games he thought we